Hello internet, my name is Lave and I watched Calm with Horses because I didn't fancy going to see Bloodshot, the new Vin Diesel movie, or My Spy or any of the other releases this weekend, because with the state of the world at the moment with the coronavirus, if I'm going to sit in a big room with strangers and breathe the same air as them, I at least want to watch something that I think I'm going to like. Also, because I was going to see this at the London Film Festival last year, but it clashed with something else, so I'm very happy that I've seen it now. So this one is set in rural Ireland and follows Douglas Armstrong, or Arm as he's called, a once promising boxer who now works as an enforcer for the Devers, an unsavoury family of drug dealers who demand fierce loyalty, which puts Arm at odds with them and his estranged girlfriend Ursula and young son Jack. So yeah, it's a fairly simple premise that I'm going to describe as an Irish Rocky, or a Rocky that never got his 1 in a million shot to fight Apollo Creed and turn his life around. If that never happened for Rocky Balboa, I imagine that he'd be doing everything that Arm does in this film. I mean, the film even starts in a similar way to Rocky, where Arm is sent out to go and have a chat with an associate of the Devers family, only he's not going there to just break some thumbs. This particular encounter is brutal, setting the tone of the film but also the course of the narrative, as this event escalates within the Devers family, with the heads, Powdy and Hector, instructing their nephew Dimpner, played by Barry Keoghan, to handle it, or amend it as they say, which means that Arm is going to amend it. Barry Keoghan is such a fantastic actor and rising star, having already worked with some of the greats like Chris Nolan in Dunkirk, Yorgos Lanthimos in Killing of a Sacred Deer, plus many other movies and TV like Chernobyl, for example. His character is such a weasel. He plays it brilliantly. He acts like the big man because he's got Arm backing him up, and he literally treats him like a dog. He whistles at him, he pats him on the head, and he feeds him drugs to get him pumped up, whilst at the same time calling him his bro and his family. He emotionally abuses and manipulates Arm, trying to put a wedge between him and his ex-girlfriend Ursula, played by Niamh Algar, who is also fantastic in the film, along with the kid playing their son Jack. Now, I should mention that his son has autism, and what's even more heartbreaking than that is that Arm clearly loves his son and wants to do right by him, but he just doesn't understand him or the nature of his disability. Again, comparing him to Rocky, he's not, shall we say, the most intellectually gifted person. Often what he thinks is going to be a kind gesture for his son turns out to be the worst thing for him. I'm not familiar with the actor who plays Arm. His name is Cosmo Jarvis. He has been in other things, I just haven't seen them. He's brilliant in this though. I don't think he's from Ireland initially, but he nails the accent and he's totally believable. As a former boxer, he looks like an absolute unit. He gives a really physical performance, and I don't mean that in terms of physical prowess or stunts or anything like that. Again, comparing him to Rocky, he's a man of few words, and aside from some narration at the beginning of the film, we know what he's thinking and what he's feeling by his looks. There's a really intense encounter in a nightclub where he sees his ex-girlfriend Ursula with another guy, and you are just waiting for it to erupt. The whole film does a good job actually of building a sense of tension and pressure building under the surface, just waiting to explode like a volcano, which is quite an achievement considering that this is a story that has been explored before. But despite that fact, the conclusion of the film is, I don't want to say predictable, perhaps it's better to say inevitable. It totally works though, because everything about the film, the characters and the world that they inhabit, feels real. Full praise has to go to the director Nick Rowland. I believe this is his feature film debut and it is a powerhouse. I loved the cinematography in the film. I think it's got an amazing soundtrack as well. It's a real powerhouse of a debut. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Lynn Ramsey's You Will Never Really Hear. So if you liked that film, then definitely check this one out too. So that's my thoughts on Calm with Horses, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. I'm pretty sure that not many people are going to go and see this film because of the coronavirus, which is a shame because it's a small independent film anyway, so it's going to be tough for it to make any money. But this is the type of film that I know is going to get traction once it hits a streaming service like Netflix through word of mouth. I know it's really cliche to say that a film is really taut and gritty and realism, but that's what this film is. It's one of those films that's only an hour and a half, and once you watch it, you're completely engrossed, and when it's finished, you're like, oh, that was really good. So I hope that more people will see this because it deserves it. But let me know what you thought if you've seen it. And in the meantime, stay safe, keep washing your hands, don't go out bulk buying, all of that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video in whatever shape or form that will be. See you later.
Subscribe